Well, good morning again. It's 10 after 9. It feels like we've been here for a little while. Ray Halbrook here from live stream STL Media. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday morning. Again, we're here with folks from the Bottleneck Bridge Ride here, the 8th annual Bottleneck Bridge Ride here in Festus, Crystal City, the Twin Cities here in Missouri. Thanks for being with us. And we have today with us Cindy Mintz and Gina Otto, both from TrailNet. Ladies, how you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for having us today.
Awesome. Now, Cindy, you're you're this kind of old hat for you. We've done a few of these with
Sure.
you, and we wanted to kind of catch up a little bit more about just with the partnership here a little bit more. But before we get started with that, let's talk about the what is TrailNet, and for those that have no idea what this TrailNet thing's about, what do you guys do?
Thanks. We are a 34-year-old nonprofit. We were established in 1987, and our mission is to lead in fostering healthy, active, and vibrant communities where walking, biking, and transit can become a way of life. And the way we really act out our mission is to try and make the streets safer for everyone. And so we do that with a variety of things. We work on policy change, whether it's statewide, like distracted driving legislation, which we just passed, or local policies that make it easier to put in better streets, better sidewalks. We do planning work where we've done some work here in Jefferson County. And then we also do some programming work too. And one of our exciting programs is getting people on their bikes, like today for the Bottleneck Bridge Ride.
Excellent. Now let's talk a little bit about this particular, partnership here with the Bottleneck Bridge Ride folks here at the Twin Cities, with the Growth Association, the Tourism Commission, folks like that. That seems to be a really good partnership. But as you go along throughout the years, new things come up and you try different things. What has this relationship been like with you guys?
Well, it has really grown over the years, and that was really my goal as CEO. I became CEO in 2019, and my goal was really to not only come to your community and do a bike ride, but we want to help your community live the mission.
Right.
And so I worked with the city of Herculaneum, Crystal City, Festus, Hillsborough, our planning team, our policy team, working with them to establish the right kinds of policies that make it easier to put in safer streets and sidewalks, put in applications to apply for funding at the federal level.
Right.
And so we started out on the back parking lot, and this is our third year
Yep.
on Main Street. And I remember talking with Andy Held with the Mercy Hospital about, I was like, hey, can we shut down Main Street and have all the cyclists come through? And that also really helped bring the businesses on board. And we want to, if we can bring 400 people to the heart of Festus and have them hang around and spend their money and go inside your
Right.
shops, all good, and they'll come back. So, so that's really what we're hoping to do here.
Absolutely. Talk about anything new going on with TrailNet, just on maybe on the home front.
Sure. So, one of the things that's coming up, I think everybody slowed down during COVID as far as having big events. And we do have our gala coming up on November 8th, and we're going to be celebrating our partners and giving out awards this year. And for partners that are really, making advances on the mission. We changed the way that we do our rides, and I brought Gina Otto with me, and I would love to introduce Gina. And
Yeah.
Gina is our special events manager at TrailNet. And so previously, we had one person doing the technical aspects of the ride as well as the event setup. And so Gina's really going to focus on, like, what does the footprint look like, keeping the relationship with the businesses and the sponsors, keeping that going, and just making sure everybody has a good experience before they get on their bike and after they get off their bike.
Yeah.
So
Gina Otto, we just found out literally 5 minutes before we got on the air here that we're alumni,
Yes.
friends at Herculaneum,
Herculaneum.
class of 91 here, class of 90 right here, and it is a small world. That 6 degrees of separation is just uncanny, isn't it?
Yes.
Gina Otto, originally grew up in the Herculaneum area here. Now you
Festus
reside in
native for about
Festus.
26 years. Now we've been in
Absolutely.
Festus.
And Tell us a little bit about your story about, maybe the journey at how you ended up here at TrailNet.
I actually was a professional vocalist for most of my life.
I remember
And
that.
then when COVID hit, I decided to finish my degree and I did an interdisciplinary study, and my focus was nonprofit management. I had been doing a lot of volunteer work, managing some local nonprofits,
Right.
a theater,
Right.
and I decided that was my path,
Yeah.
my
Awesome.
second half. And so I got the degree, and I knew I wanted to be in something that promoted healthy lifestyle because I'm a big advocate of being healthy, being outside, and just breathing fresh air. And
Right.
I always loved to run. I'm more of a runner. So I started looking for organizations that were hiring that I were interested in, and I saw this job at TrailNet pop up, and I thought, I've heard of TrailNet, and
Yeah.
I know that they do the Bottleneck bridge ride, so I was familiar in that capacity, but I had no idea what was going on behind the scenes. And there's so much more to TrailNet, and
Right.
it's beautiful what they do. They make these rides. These are the active and the visual part of what they make possible.
Yeah.
And so I love. I've had a great journey with them so far. I
Yeah.
started in the spring, and it's been rewarding. It's been fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool to come back here full circle as well. And tell us a little bit about maybe kind of your duties. We know that you're doing special events, doing the events and things like that. Are there things maybe behind the scenes that folks don't know about that you're taking care of?
Well, we have a new program that we just installed this year, and it's the Run Sign Up program. So it's got a lot of tools, a lot of good different ways we can use analytics, and it's just been a little bit of a challenge to get people to adopt that new technology. But once they do, and once we're more familiar with it, it's going to be so easy for everyone. Like even check-in, we've already noticed it's been a lot easier to check people in. So that's been it's been something new that we've had this year going on. So a lot of what I do is working with that system. I've been doing a lot of work with the volunteers and getting
Oh,
them
yeah.
to do activation
Sure.
at the rest stops, because I feel like if we've got our volunteers are very ambitious and they're out there cheering them on, and the
Right.
riders come around, they've had a long run and they see that, the smiling faces and the noise, I think that's really going to make a rider experience.
Absolutely, absolutely, and so cool that that especially the connection with us here. But I'm just really kind of taken back by that for a second. Like, oh my gosh, so it's kind of cool. But the amount of effort you guys put into this every year is unbelievable. I mean, this is a lot. I mean, this is like a mini Boston Marathon. For me, when I see this coming in, we see the great big huge start finish line. We see all this different stuff. I know you guys are here, probably here last night about 10 o'clock, setting things up. And so it's just not one of those things that they're doing this willy-nilly. They're coming in here, putting a lot of thought. It takes a lot of pre-planning. It takes a lot of man hours to get this done. So I appreciate it and see all of the setup all the time, and it's unbelievable.
We appreciate the partnership here. It's such a strong partnership. It's
Yeah.
one of our strongest partnerships. And working with JCGA, working with Andy Held, working with all the community members, Pedaling Pie, who just they really care about Festus, Crystal City area. They really want people to get more active. They host their Tuesday night bike rides to get people ready for this.
Sure.
And so we just love the engagement that we have in this community,
Yeah.
for
Absolutely.
sure.
It's humbling seeing how many people come out and volunteer their time
Right.
Yeah.
to
Right.
this.
Right, absolutely. If you haven't thought about being a part of this, I mean, you're a bike rider, get involved with this. This happens every year around this time of the year, and great group of folks. There goes Andy Hild
There
on his
goes Andy
e-bike.
Hild.
Comes buzzing by his e-bike, and he's like, "Hey, man, I really like this thing. This is kind of cool, the
Mr.
e-bike."
Cool.
So. But we're going to wrap things up here. Thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate
Sure,
that today.
thank you.
Cindy Mentz and Gina Otto from TrailNet. And again, if you're interested in getting a hold of them, trailnet.org.
.org.
There it is.
All righty.
We'll have some more interviews a little bit here with Andy Held and Scott Seek, maybe Chris and Renee Creed. We'll see who else is going to come in on all this. But thanks for being with us for the Bottleneck Bridge Ride Part 2 today.